What's up, my gardening and composting friends? So I know I'm a little late in posting this video. It's January 20th, and most of you guys probably threw out your Christmas trees the first week of January. But if you haven't, I want to convince you why you should compost your Christmas trees, especially if you live in an urban environment. You know that materials can be hard to come by for your compost. So if you didn't do it this year, then at least you'll have it for next year. The key to using materials as large as a Christmas tree is to break it down. You really want to make sure you break everything down, or else it's going to take a long time for the wood to break down fully. So what I use is some loppers. You can also use a chainsaw or even a machete to kind of limb up the little branches and stuff like that. Let me show you how I break it down. Again, the goal, guys, is to break everything down as small as possible. So what I just limbed is still not small enough, so I'm going to go through and limb everything again. All right, so this is about the size that we want right here. Little pieces like that. That's going to break down really nicely in the compost. So now we're ready to add it to our compost pile. So I've been experimenting with a lot of different composting methods, but as you guys have seen in my other video with the cheap and easy composting method, I've been using a 32-gallon trash bin, and I'm just going to put the pine needles right on top because I've already added some food scraps. So here we go. And I always like to mix it in a little bit, get the dried materials in there. Now that you've gone through all this trouble dragging the Christmas tree out of your house and bringing it all the way out to your compost pile, you might as well sweep up the remaining needles and put them in your compost bucket too. As you can see, these needles are already dry as they've been sitting for several months. I use a 5-gallon bucket for my food scraps throughout the week, so I'm just going to put the needles right on top of my food scraps. I just want to be clear about something. You should not be using pine needles entirely for your source of carbon, but the good thing is that this Christmas tree, I bought it back in November, so almost 3 months ago now, and it's had a lot of time to dry, so there is more carbon in it. And use a diversity of leaves, so pine needles should not be your only thing. Use dried leaves and wood chips and sawdust and paper and things like that. So thank you guys for watching. I hope I inspired you to use your Christmas trees for your compost. Maybe not this year, but at least next year.